So when you are driving on a motorway, an important part of that is looking at the road markings and signs, so that you know where you're heading, because obviously it's going to have two different directions. So you've got, M1 North and M1 South. So if you're not planning on going to London but you're going the other way, you need to know where your exit is. So we're just going to get into the right lane in advance because we know that. Then we're going to look at the board as it comes up, and we're following the signs for Birmingham, which you can see is right fourth exit, because the third exit is still M54, but that takes you to Shrewsbury. So we're going to keep in this right hand lane, going to signal up nice and clear. We're going to come across to here. It says M54 East, which is what we want. And we can see now we just don't cross that centre white line, and it's going to help us follow it round. So already we've got the sign over there telling us Shrewsbury M54, so we know we're not going up that one, so we need the next one. So we're just going to follow this lane round. They both go in the same direction, so we're just going to move over into this left lane. And that brings us blue sign, so we know it's the M54. Tells us there's the sharp bend, so we're just making sure it's clear and safe. The furthest part of the bend is going away and opening up, so we know we're doing the right speed, about 35 miles an hour on this bend. You can see again, driving in the wet, the danger is if you accelerate while you're going round that bend, you could end up going sideways just because of gravity pushing you across. Now we're checking, we've got cars at the side, so we're backing off the gas and then we're moving across. So remember, as we come down, because we're crossing a white line, because we're changing lanes, it's up to us to give way to the traffic that is already on here. But that's where the importance of building the speed up, but at the very same time checking that mirror to see what's happening at the side of you. That's where that becomes the most important thing, because that view in that mirror is going to determine what you're then going to do. So we're going to come off at the next exit. So we're checking our mirrors. We're just waiting for the 300-yard board, which you can see on the left there, because otherwise it can become a bit of a confusing signal. And then we're coming across. What we're going to do is go across the roundabout and join back on the other side. Eventually. So again, you can see from this lane, the centre white line in front leads us across into that left-hand lane. Now the mistake that people make is they think the traffic lights over there are for us, and they're not. So we're making sure ours have changed, and through we go. So we're keeping in this left-hand lane. Good grief, the state of this road. So we're building up the speed, holding back from the cars in front because there's a big old queue of them. We're doing our mirrors and signal ready, so as soon as people see us on the motorway, they know we want to come across. We're looking in the mirror and the blind spot mirror. We're off the gas to let the caravan go past. We're looking, there's a big old gap at the side. We move across into it. So we're holding our gap. Now we're doing mirrors and signal and booting it up to 70. And because we've got adaptive cruise control, we can set the cruise control and then it will do the rest. Now for some reason the lane guidance came on then, so we're turning that off. But now with the adaptive cruise control, it will slow you down if you're catching up with the vehicles in front. So you just have to keep an eye on it. Now at the same time, we're looking for the vehicles on the left. Are they going to put a signal on? Are they looking to overtake? Because if you're just going past them, fine, they have to wait. But if they're in front like this guy on the left, we would want to just let them in. It's not a problem. We're not in a rush to get anywhere. So it's nice to be nice. So now we can see his headlights in the centre mirror, so we come back to the left. We're constantly keeping a check on the mirrors. If you're not sure about finding gaps when to overtake on motorways, dual carriageways, check out our video on learning how to do that by splitting the mirrors into 3, and it will really help, or we hope it will really help you in your understanding of when it's safe to. Now the marker boards on the left there, they tell us where we are on the roundabout. So if you did break down, you can tell them that what's on that marker board, and they know exactly where you are. Or of course if you use the phones that are on there. Now you can probably hear this bit of motorway. It's not going to show on the camera, but it's so bumpy, it's unbelievable. So what's this telling us? Junction 48. No, we're not going that far, so we don't need to worry about it. So we'll turn the adaptive cruise control off because we're going to come off at the next junction. So here's another one of those signs telling you whereabouts you are, so that everyone would know instantly, you know, the AARAC if they were coming to pick you up. We're looking for what the sign says. Again, on this particular video, we're not heading down onto the M5, so we're okay with that as well. So that tells us our junction 3, is coming up. So we're checking our mirrors, making sure it's safe. And at the 300 marker board, again, we're going to do mirrors, signal to give everyone good notice that we are coming off at this. And again at this roundabout, we're going to go straight ahead, second exit, and back onto the motorway. So we're building up our speed, we're doing mirrors and signal. We're looking for a gap. which we can see quite clearly we've got. So can you see, even coming down onto a motorway, you don't need to be checking that right shoulder blind spot. If you've got blind spot mirrors, you should be able to just take a quick sideways glance and then know what's happening. So now the traffic's building up, we're maintaining our gap with the vehicle in front. Because as you can see, it starts to get a bit busy, a bit congested. We're going to see what the sign tells us. M6 junction 48, exit is closed. Well, we're not going down that far. We're only going on the M6 today as far as junction 10. Just going to turn around, head back. Because although this is a motorway, we can see it's 2 lanes. So if you've done your driving lessons and done dual carriageways, you know, some motorways are going to be exactly the same. The principle for motorways, you know, with traffic at the side of you, looking out for slip roads, is exactly the same. It's very busy, considering it's a Sunday. And as you can probably hear from the bouncing, you probably won't see it too much on the camera. This has to be one of the worst motorways in Britain to travel on. It was only redone a few years ago. Whoever did it, they should make them come back and do it again properly. It's horrendous. So that's the bit where you can see the rain's coming on the windscreen, but the automatic part is just not reacting. So even though your wipers are automatic, you still may need to put them on manually. You can see we've got a van to the side of us in that blind spot mirror. You can't see him in the normal mirror. So this is why, you know, on your lessons, they say to you, don't just glance in the mirror, look in it. Look, assess, decide. So now we've moved over. We're dropping back a little just to bring that gap in. Because now, with it being a van, we can't see in front to know if the cars are braking or not. And we've got another sign. Is that just telling us about that junction? Yes. Got a broken down vehicle on the left. Now here we've got the 3 lanes, so we're checking the mirrors both sides. We're going to move back into this lane here, the middle lane. That gives us a better view, and then we can just build up speed because we're not in a rush to get anywhere, so this speed is fine. And you can see it's taking us 2 different directions. Left lane is A460. Middle and right lane is the M6 South. So where is that second caravan going to change lanes? Let's put the wiper on again. See, and that's on the top response one, that is. They're a pain at times. So we're just coming off the gas, holding back. Now, because there's a lot of traffic, we can put the signal on. Now that just tells everyone, if you want to give me a gap, I'd like to move over. And then we wait for the gap. Is he giving us it? Nope. He's putting his foot down. The white car is, so now we can move over. Oof. There goes the ozone over Shropshire. And then we'll come back into the left, but there's a slip road on. So we're already looking for any vehicles coming up. We couldn't move over because there's vehicles approaching us, so we just have to come off the gas and let them in. Now again, the wipers are on, but I suppose they're doing an alright job. But if they weren't, we can knock it down one and just make it come on a bit quicker. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. Now it's telling us 60, but remember, this is an advice sign. These are the ones that sometimes just get left on, but with the amount of traffic in front of us, I think it probably is a good idea. Oh, poops. And we've got to pull off because my low fuel lights come on. And this is why we should check the fuel before coming out. In fairness, I did mean to, and then just totally forgot. So, you know, these things happen. So it's telling us the motorways merge in half a mile. We're looking. The traffic on there is free flowing, so it shouldn't be too bad. But again, because the rain's got heavier, we just want to keep our distance. Now these signs are speed limit signs. So we set the adaptive cruise control because the cameras on the gantry, you go past 55, 60, they will snap you and you will get a fine for it. So as we come down, we're just looking. This lane runs parallel for a while, but then comes in. So we're just going to use the brake. See the traffic braking ahead. Got a nice gap at the side of us. The white car's holding back, so we say thank you, and then we go through. Now the left lane is actually in operation, so we can use that left lane. It's telling us to use the hard shoulder, so it's perfectly legal in this case to come into this lane and use it. These are called smart motorways, so it knows there's a lot of traffic, says right, in that case use the hard shoulder on the left, and that hopefully helps with the traffic situation. But unless it says that, don't drive on the hard shoulder, it's illegal. Now this is generally, the hard shoulder is where for people that break down. Now our speed limit goes up to 60, but again with the rain, the conditions, this is kind of a good enough speed at the moment. You can see the spray coming off that lorry. See the signs again, still reminding us it's 60, so as long as you're not over that, you don't have to worry. But as I say, those gantries, they do have speed cameras in them, hence the lines on the floor, and you will get a fine and the points for going through it too fast. Now it's clearing up, the traffic's starting to move a bit. The vision isn't brilliant, but the traffic is moving, so we are okay. Still telling us, the sign, to use the hard shoulder, so we know we are okay to stop on here. We're going to keep in this lane because we want to come off at the next exit. We're just looking for anybody realizing the exit is coming up, putting their left signal on and trying to move across. It's amazing how many cars don't actually use the hard shoulder, even though they've clearly been told to. That caravan that we've just gone past has now moved across behind us. So, you know, that happens quite a lot, that people don't realise till the last second what they need to be doing. Sign ahead tells us we're still okay to use the hard shoulder. Remember, those signs are still legal speed limits, not advice signs. Now it's telling us our exit comes up in 200 yards, 100 yards. So we do mirrors and signal, and we're coming off at our exit. Now we're looking for where we're going. In this case, we're heading down here, and that's it. This now goes back to a 30, and that sign tells us this is officially the end of the motorway. So the green sign means you're onto a normal road. The blue sign in the distance there means if you want the motorway, it's those two lanes. Okay, so now we're coming down. So I've actually been to this junction since they revamped it, so I'm not entirely sure, but saying north is right. We can see the sign telling us as well, so we just need that right hand lane. So we're going to come across into this one. Not the best move by the driver. M6 north, and then we're just going to follow our lane. So this is junction 10 on the M6. multi-lane roundabout, as you can see. Got the ambulance coming up behind, but he should actually stay behind and not do his sirens, because it's illegal for us to go through a red light, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it's telling us now we've got 2 lanes to the M6 North, so we're just going to follow this round, and then when it's safe we're going to move over into this left hand lane. Again, still safe on that side, so we'll come across onto the left. See, it's coming into a 60. Tells us we've got the variable limit. Checking that mirror, just making sure nobody's trying to rush past us. Doing mirrors and signal. Now again, checking the mirrors, the blind spot mirror, you can see there's nobody in the lane next to us. We can move over, hit the gas, get it up towards 60, and then we can set our limit. So we'll set it at that. Again, these are speed limits, not advice signs. Sign is confirming, which was why the speed limit was back there on the hard shoulder, that we can use the hard shoulder. That's fine. If not, it would say, you know, lane ends, get back on the carriageway kind of thing. So the key is just looking at what the signs are telling us, and we'll know what to do then. So we can set our limit. So our headlights go on because we're coming into the rain. You can see the signs ahead, the speed limit signs are telling us. Why they stick in that lane and go slower than the speed limit? Just move over onto the hard shoulder. You've been told you can do it, and let traffic get past. This is what causes half the congestion. So we're going to keep in this lane. Now the reason we're coming down here, somebody mentioned between junction 1 and 2 that if you've got your adaptive cruise control on, it just randomly slows you down to 30 miles an hour. So we're going to find out if that's true or just a myth. Still got the 60 mile an hour limits, but we're okay. Only at 56. Headlights are on. Heater is on. Well, the air vent is on. So actually we'll put that on front. Make sure it stays clear. Hard shoulder for M54 only. Well, that's what we want, so we're okay to stay in this one. If you were carrying on M6 North, in other words, time to move over. So look at the boards. Those 3 lanes are for the M6. This left one now is M54. And it's not a hard shoulder anymore, hence the dotted white line instead of the solid white line. And you can see it just naturally filters you off and allows those 3 lanes to carry on up to the M6 North. Once we pass the signs, we see it becomes national speed limit. We're back to 70, so we can take off the adaptive control now. Then we can boot it up to 70. We're going to move over slightly, just come off the gas to give them room. And then we're going to put the cruise control back on again. Now, is this car going to move over before the next one? We're just keeping an eye. So especially on motorways where you've got 2 lanes, 3 lanes, you're having to watch what other people are doing. They're on the hard shoulder, so they're fine. Now we're slowing down just because the vehicles in front are slowing down. So we'll build it back up. Because remember, we're testing out this urban myth, so the adaptive cruise control's on. And we're going to see, you see my foot's off the pedal, up back by the chair. So we're going to see if this does come on or not. Once we see his headlights in the centre mirror, actually that car's getting off, so we can move across. So we're just going past junction 1. No, wipers still aren't coming on quick enough. I prefer a clear screen. So we've got vehicles that are going to come across, so we're just going to hold back, let them move across. Checking on what's going on. We've got the car in the blind spot mirror. We know the lorry will slow us down, so we're just going to move across into this lane. Now, can you see, because the cars ahead don't have the headlights on, they're not showing any tail lights, which makes them harder to see when the conditions get a bit murkier, a bit more spray on the road. So whenever it's raining, just put your headlights on. Makes you easier to see, makes everyone more aware that you're there. So we hope this motorway driving tutorial has helped. My name's Chris from Driver Training Limited. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more useful driving hints and tips. Remember, keep well, drive safely, and we'll see you all again in our next video.